Is this working now? Yes, it is. It looks like it's working. My humblest apologies, everybody. You'll have to take my word for it that I greeted you as soon as you arrived in chat. I thought maybe it was an input error with my settings, but it was something else. Right, as I mentioned, which you guys did not hear, I agree with Victor. Yeah, Forge Fiends look pretty dope. Pretty cool. Forge Fiends have a very demonic, kind of Cerberus style look to them. I think they look very cool as well. Yeah, so I'm just going to start by blackening these mist spots on these bases here. Is that better for you guys if it's on one of these? Maybe. Maybe. It makes it a bit easier to rotate, that's for sure. No worries, Kit Bash. I appreciate the shout out. I want to believe I would have stumbled onto that eventually. Yes, it's a very professional show I run here. So, what's going on, chat? What are you guys working on? Of course, if you're just chilling, I appreciate the company all the same. Let me know if the audio levels are okay with the background music, relative to my speech. Oh no! We have a bit of broken debris here. Is that piece important? No. That's fine. We can lose that. I find the primer helps lock everything in on this kind of basing scheme. Doing some sisters trim. I didn't know sisters have trim. What kind of sister has trim? You'll see the airbrush primer was a bit thin on this this beige terrain piece here. Oh, I got a little secret helmet over there. It's funny the things you forget you did after coming back to something after a while. There's a skull in there. Nice. What's up, Bahamut? Forge friends, also need some storm friends. Nice. Yeah, I stored these a little haphazardly in the pile of shame, so there's a bit of battlefield damage. It should be okay in a... It's not trying to be a pristine kind of basing scheme, right? I think a little more wear and tear won't hurt. Hey, nothing wrong with choosing helmets over bare heads. Painting helmets is certainly easier. And it's usually cooler, let's be honest, right? Like, generally the helmets look pretty cool on most factions. You have to work pretty hard to make a face look good. In my opinion. So you think you got all the spots, and then oh, this piece is loose. That's a key piece. I don't want to lose this one. Might have to get in here with a bit of the super glue. All right. One sec. Oh, BRB. I have returned. So, was thinking about using this Venom Crawler as practice for doing Vashtor later on. Haven't seen any builds on him anywhere. Anyone seen any? I have not looked into Vashtor. Well, yeah, I haven't. Unfortunately, Kit Vash, I can't point out any tutorials to you or video reviews. I'm sure someone must have. I think I found out why this is so loose. There's not a lot of surface area for this. I have to really glob it on there. We'll see. We'll see if this will suffice. Okay, that should be fine. He doesn't stand, the Forge Fiend doesn't stand on that spot, so it shouldn't be an issue. At least I don't think so. Alright, I think all the exposed area from before is adequately covered. Adequate enough. It's gonna get some actual paint later, so it's not the biggest deal. Not the biggest deal. I can move on to painting something more interesting to watch. The first of the Forge Friends. Okay, so let's take a look at this dude. What kind of materials do we got? We're gonna have a lot of tubing on his neck and his belly, probably. Cabling here. There's metal areas as well, obviously, on these pistons and all sorts of, I don't know, hinges and servos. So I think because the tubes are gonna be black and the ribbing is probably gonna be metal, and because those are the innermost areas, I think it makes the most sense to start with them. Then do tubing and then demonic flesh afterwards. But it's weird because then you have trim as well. It's like obviously the armor is on top of everything. So it might be a two-step metal process. What's up, Cozy, just saw your message there. Is it a black sun in the base? It is, I don't know, a chaos star or a pattern or something. A non-trademark chaos star. It's from a green stuff roller. I think a green stuff world roller. I think the Dark Ruins roller, if memory serves. Okay, let's begin painting this tubing. I have a feeling this model is going to look real nice once it's done. I'll probably use the airbrush though for this OSL on the plasma for the green glowing stuff. I think on infantry you can kind of get away with a brush a bit more, but when you get to these bigger kind of plasma coils, I think the airbrush is gonna be much more impactful. No need to apologize, Kitbash. You're not spamming at all. You know what? It's a good thing to have activity in chat, so don't feel bad about it at all. If you at me, it'll show up a bit more more obvious on my end, I think. I don't believe it'll show up the same for you guys, and then it'll be easier for me to catch your messages right away. Sorry for the spam. Is that a cast you've done on the base or something I got 3D printed? Nope. The basing is, it's air-dried clay with a green stuff roller. Or a texture roller. So it's not very fancy at all. It's actually like a Crayola. It's like really cheap clay. But it's adequate, you know, like it dries and, you know, it dries hard and breaks nicely the way you'd want it to. And I think after you give it a coat of paint with a bit of a wash and dry brush, it looks pretty good for such a cheap material. I wonder what these plug ports are for. I guess the one thing to be wary of with this paint is it flecking off and hitting the other areas of the model. But you know what? Silver flecks in the model isn't the worst. Right? It's kind of a weathering of sorts. You know, pits and scrapes. Chips in the armor finish. It's probably alright. I'll tell you one thing, I'm not a fan of these hooves. It's probably the worst part of the model. They just look so lame to me. should darken the paint a bit more. Yep, Miku. Miku, you are correct. Das modeling clay is much, much better. Yeah, I'm a fan of exploring alternative media, right? Like, you're able to find some gems by, oh, let's try Crayola clay, you know? And then maybe find something that's adequate, way more cost-effective than, you know, in air quotes, hobby supplies or products that are marketed towards, you know, expensive hobbies. But for the base here, like, yeah, I only need something adequate. It is, at the end of the day, it is a complementary component to the model. I guess I can be much more haphazard because most of these areas are going to have to get painted over. The more I look at it, like, this is just demonic flesh, we're going to paint over that. So it can be a bit more messy. It's the one time the trim is kind of useful. Okay, so on this weapon, probably this is going to be metal. What are these hearts? They must be likes for the stream. Oh yeah, 13 concurrent viewers. Please like the stream, guys. Like the stream. It's good for the algorithm. We must appease the algorithm gods, okay? I don't know if you're aware of this, but they demand likes. Probably leave most of this inner stuff armor color, like this red. But these details might look cool in metallic. not the most convenient model to paint in terms of hand-holding. Gotta do his chimneys, of course. Probably make these demonic screaming ones glow green. I think that might look pretty dope. That might look pretty good. Is that right, Poor Hammer? I've never painted any Thousand Suns, so I can't really speak from experience. Oh, you know what? I painted Arman. I did do that for a buddy way back. But maybe he's not the best example of the rubric eye, right? He's got a lot of cloak and stuff. Maybe most of his trim would be obscured. Really kind of clumping it on here. It should be okay because the air paint dries pretty thin. Just gotta be mindful of the poolage. I mean, there's some areas here that might look good with some silver. Perhaps I should switch to a more precise brush, or maybe I'll just live dangerously. Yeah, much more interesting already. Just breaking up those colors. Like, certain steps are for sure more impactful than others. And I guess if you're someone who paints for play, those are the steps you want to kind of hone in on and kind of ignore the rest. What else are we doing silver? Probably we'll use the Dark Sea Gray in here. For sure these things. These look great in silver. But those are going to be silver as well. That's the question. Should the bottom of this be a silver? Maybe we'll do the trim first and see. We'll figure it out as we go. What's that saying? We're flying by the seat of our pants? This is a bit weird music. We'll just have to ride it out. Eighth edition. I just saw your question now, Miku. 8th edition Imperial Fist has a bolted drill stratagem, so does Crimson Fist have it, but is different. Crimson Fist being a successor of Imperial Fist. I'm pretty sure in 8th edition Crimson Fist could use those, the Imperial Fist supplement. I'm pretty sure you had access to all of the Imperial Fist stuff, but Imperial Fist didn't have access to their stuff, I think. I think that's how it worked. Good seeing you, Kid Bash. Man, I'm really bad about seeing these messages. Let it be known, let the record show that I appreciate Kid Bash's dropping in on the stream. And I wish him a good evening. I'm inclined to agree with you, Dea Morales. I'm inclined to agree. The real forge friends we made along the way. At least when you're painting trim, yeah, sure, it's painstaking and not the most fun, but at least you can appreciate how good it looks once that trim is all, the satisfaction that comes with coloring within the lines. After it's done, you're like, oh wow, look at that armor panel. It looks real good with the silver metallic against the red armor. But when you're just painting the bare metal components, it's like no reward, I feel like it's not satisfying at all. My word bearer base coat combo, Dea Morales. That is an excellent question. I painted these so long ago. And they've been sitting in the pile of shame. If I had to assume, it's been it's the same recipe I've been using on these past streams with the Possessed. Probably, what's the name of that paint? Screamer Pink mixed with... Not a lot of Screamer Pink. It's mostly Mechrite Red. But this was very clearly done with an airbrush and then washed and then panel shaded. I can see like the dark outline around the trim. But for this in particular, that's probably the best guess. We're kind of in a best guess situation here. But after much trial and error, I found a color I liked for the word bearers. Or for what I would want for mine, anyways. And I found the darker base coat was kind of necessary for the runes to read in a way that's aesthetically pleasing. You kind of need that value range of the Night Lord's armor. Because it's the same principle as their lightning effects with the glowing decals I've been doing. And just, you need that contrast for that pop. Friendman, how's it going? Thanks for checking out the stream. Have I ever thought about that? Well, I am now. Just big dogs that want to play. For sure, Mauler Fiends give me that vibe. They just run at you like a big dog. And then you're dead. Then you're dead. I don't know, I had the option to magnetize these for Forge Fiends or Mauler Fiends, but I kind of just committed to the Forge Fiend because I'm like, I want the demonic energy. And I feel like the Forge Fiend with the Cerberus type configuration here is a bit more in line with that kind of shtick for the word bearers. And I kind of like the glowing green giant ectoplasma cannons. I think that'll look really cool. Look really good with a bit of airbrush, a little bit of white ink, and I think... Oh, I'm very curious to give it a try. I've been seeing a lot of that on the Instagram. They make it look so easy. And I'm like, oh, let's give it a try. The other thing about this guy is that he's so prickly. It goes just enough paint for nearly one Forge Fiend. Imagine playing fetch with a dog that can smell when you're gonna die. Is that a thing for the Forge Fiends? Is that their lore? They can smell, instead of smelling fear, they can smell your life force. You know what? Let me adjust my chair here. That's a bit better. That's better. Okay. Are all the metal spots hit on this guy? It's probably some I'm missing. Obviously, not speaking to the trim. Like minor. I mean, not a perfect coverage, but maybe sufficient. You know, once you put a wash on that and hit all the other areas, maybe you won't even know. I mean, those caps could be gold and then it'd look like a headphone jack, or that's kind of fun. What about the toes? Looks like the palms are demonic flesh and then the feet are probably metal. I can hit those when I do the trim. Well, do you know what's next? It's the same thing again on our other forge friend. Such exciting content. I'm kind of pumped for this space here. Look at this cool rhino door. We're definitely gonna paint that ultramarines blue. That is pretty neat. I think it's neat anyways. Oh, Miku, you're saying all the right things. Nothing makes me happier than knowing, like, these hobby hangouts serve as a motivational source for you guys. Because I found that to be the case in my own hobby group, and I figured, why not kind of stream that so that others could benefit as well. This guy's got more of a downward kind of position going on. Kind of a better pose, I suppose. More stoic. Oh, this metal is certainly battering this brush up. But it was already kind of in the workhorse category. Alright, let's get comfortable here. Let's just cozy up next to the microphone. Just hanging out in stream, painting some moodles. You know, I released that World Eaters thematic list build this past weekend. And there's a few comments in there that are like, oh, it's, I didn't get to see, stop hating on 8-bound or sucks without Angron, that kind of stuff. But, like, principally, I don't want to have to include a Primarch if there's a Primarch in a thematic list build. Like, you'd think an army should be able to fight without their Primarch. Just like all the other armies, right? All the other Space Marine legions. Like, that should be feasible. And I didn't want to include 8-bound because I kind of hate them. And then if you lack those two, like, massive pillars, there's not much in the range. Like, that's uniquely World Eaters. Jesus, almost dropped this guy. God damn. Would have been pissed. There's a guy in my gaming group. I guess I could call him a buddy. A buddy of mine. He was painting a Genestealer Cult Patriarch, and he's a good painter. Like, he takes his time, lots of layering and blending, and non-metallic metal, like that kind of level of detail, right? And he was painting his Genestealer Cult Patriarch, and after he was done, he dropped it, And the Genestealer cult Broodlord or Patriarch has spines similar to like this along its back, and it was never the same after that drop. These blunt, stubby, like leftovers of those, man, such a shame. It's moments like that where painting loyalist Space Marines kind of feels like there's some security, because there's no spindly bits except for maybe like antennas or something on the odd vehicle or infiltrator. Even then, you could kind of remove them or shorten them, and it wouldn't be the worst looking alteration. Whereas the GSC Patriarch, like, his spines look sick. You don't want to get rid of those. Hopefully that's not too loud. One sec. I have a message here. Nothing critical. It's all good. I know you guys are probably concerned. On the edge of your seat. It's all good. Nothing to worry about. So after these metal areas are done, probably should hit them with a wash, and then do all these tubes in a black color. And I have zero interest in doing any layering on them. I think the pre-shading on the armor and the trim and OSL will carry the level of interest well enough. Jeez, I don't like this. Makes me nervous. Makes me nervous. Are we all right? What's going on, Jonathan Lowbridge? Lowridge? Yeah, that's what that says, Lowridge. Thanks for tuning in. I see your comment there. Lorgar is a dork. Yeah, in a way, but I quite, think is far from the lamest. Well, maybe he's closer to the lamest than most, but he's on the bottom of the cool factor for Primarchs, for sure, but I think he's a fairly, interesting character. He has a pretty satisfying character arc in the Horus Heresy, which I like. Quite a journey of self-discovery. Goes from being a Primarch who's sort of on the bottom of the pecking order to, you know, he gets to a point where he's not taking shit from Magnus, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool to see. I think, like many things in 40k, the memes kind of carry too much influence at times. And I think Lorgar's reputation has fallen prey to that. Kind of similar to Abaddon, you know, like the meme, like he failed 12 of his 13 crusades. Failbadon, this whole idea, but it's like, obviously Abaddon's a big fucking deal, right? I just saw your comment, Jonathan. That's really funny. Yeah, as an Ultramarines player, you are obligated to say that. Indeed, I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it. I love the book Know No Fear for what it does for the Ultramarines and the Wordbearers. I think it just serves them both so well. Yeah, Wordbearers get a... They've accrued a lame association, I think, through memes, but I think it's easy to forget that the heresy really wouldn't be a thing without the Wordbearers, and certainly the Siege of Terra wouldn't have gone as well as it did if it not for the Wordbearers doing the Ruin Storm. So they have some pretty good feats, I think, you know. But it's not... See, the problem is, it's not as sexy of a feat as, like, oh, Angron held up a Warlord Titan. He's amazing, right? Like, it's not on the face cool in that way. But their feats are more crucial in the grand scale of the narrative. Oh, I feel you on that one, Jonathan. The Word Bearer's color scheme is quite good. Quite good. And Word Bearers have that unique lane for them, which gets, like, attributed to Black Legion, I think, just because of status quo poster boys for Chaos Space Marines, but when it comes to the, I don't want to say satanic, but, you know, the demonic, right? The dark powers, the first heretics, like, as they're known to be, like, that's, like, Word Bearers are excellent bad guys. Excellent villains to have, I think. Because a lot of the Chaos Space Marine legions, I mean, aside from the God-marked Big Four, there's a fair argument, especially with a lot of players, that they want to stick to their legion ways of old. Right, certainly that's quite popular for the Alpha Legion. And even a lot of Night Lords and Iron Warriors players seem to feel similar. And I think what that does is it really allows the Word Bearers to really lean into the profane. And then Black Legion will do it because they'll do whatever. Black Legion will, by default, be appropriate at using any unit because that's what they are. Oh, nearly there with this guy. some of these spikes, I tell you. Oh, I feel that vibe, Jonathan. I think there's a lot of fun conversion opportunity to lean into the reborn black and gold energy that the Black Legion have at their disposal. Like, it's a strong theme that's probably underrepresented. I like the idea of the Black Legion operating, at least from a painting perspective or a little hobbying perspective, kind of like the Death Watch, in that you'd have guys from different war bands that have, defected over the Legion Wars in the Warp and have joined the Black Legion. I think that's very fun. Maybe that's something for a thematic list build for Black Legion. But that's a lot of hobby time. Like every unit would be, the Havocs are, repping some Iron Warriors, right? But I think you'd want, like with the Death Watch, you'd want to find some lesser warbands, not just only Legion representation. But there's very little in the way of. It feels like there's way more Successor Chapter representation than Renegade Chapter, if you know what I mean. But I also haven't done a deep dive looking up that info, so maybe it's just a lack of awareness on my part. I think all the parts have been hit, which is good. Good enough. It's going to use up a ton of black wash, though. So much surface area on this guy. Let's do another review. Is this guy wash ready? Yeah, I guess so. Guess so. Yeah, it certainly feels like Abaddon should have like a council of liaisons to each of the different legions. I think, in a practical sense, like a world building point of view, that's kind of necessary. So you could probably rig something up, but like I mean, you could rig something up that would be tasteful, is what I mean to say, but. I don't think it's feasible in a list point of view. More of just a hobby thing, or a lore theory crafting thing. All right, so I'll be using my good old reliable Game Color Black for the tubes. Oh wait, hold on. Getting way too ahead of myself. We're gonna use up a bunch of Nuln Oil. That's what I'm gonna do. Because there's a whole bunch of ridges in these tubes that I think the wash can work with. Oh, let me just close the palette. Not really using it. Let's sort of haphazardly just get this everywhere. Jesus. Missed some missed some crucial spots on this guy. Yeah, there's a large gap there. And on these. Okay. Shit. That wash is still wet. Definitely risking mucking up the work here. How's it going, Margaret? And usually when I'm applying a wash, I'm not really handling the model, so... There's something I have to account for, I suppose. I hope these spines are strong. Or else we might have a disaster on our hands. Oh, question for the chat, since we got 10 viewers here. I was thinking of adding some more emojis. It's something that when I log into YouTube Studio, it's always popping up like, add more emojis. Your content, viewers of your content will appreciate it, right? That sort of thing. So I'm wondering like what to put. I have a few model faces in there right now, just funny models from GW with funny expressions from my Discord server. But I'm wondering like what else, you know? I'm open to suggestions, is what I'm trying to say. I guess channel memes are the way to go. Oh, absolutely, Margaret. Absolutely. The Chaos... the lack of characters for the Chaos Legions is sad. You know what else is sad? This metal. That's definitely not... This metal paint that's definitely not on trim. That's super sad. Gosh. Pour one out for the Forge Fiend. This restart. Completely unacceptable. Whoops. Didn't mean to knock the camera. There's not a lot of space here. My camera setup is still at a distance for infantry painting, infantry models. Oh, for emojis, Chaos God symbols? Chaos God symbols aren't terrible. There's only so many slots, like, more slots I think it's like 10 total, or maybe less. You get more slots for emojis the more members you have. But right now, I'm only using 2 of, I think, 8 or 10. So, YouTube Studio keeps nagging me to upload something. Maybe the hobby time meme is a good one to have an emoji for. It's something of a meme, I suppose. Here's another question for chat. Have you guys, anyone in chat have experience using washes that are not GW brand? I feel like I've become too comfortable using GW washes. Maybe it's time to spread my wings and try out some other brands of washes. The Liquitex inks, eh? I actually, funnily enough, I have some custom washes I've made, just following a YouTube tutorial using Liquitex inks, but I only use them on bases or terrain, really, just because I find them to be not as, at least the way I've mixed them, it just could be a formula issue or a ratio issue even. So yeah, that is an option. I picked up some Liquitex white ink, and I found it to be pretty useful for the running into the recesses for some of these glowing effects. I'm definitely going to use that on this guy here, or the Forge Friends anyways. I definitely keep slapping my camera, and I'm sorry. Very professional. Okay, got most of the areas, and it wasn't a terrible dent in the wash. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to put metal on those caps too, eh? I can do that during the trim stage, but... Well, Nuln Oil over metallic paints always looks pretty good. And I guess as it continues to dry, I'll have to do that again. Such fun. I feel like people often complain about batch painting squads. At the moment, I feel like batch painting monsters is worse. There's so much material, so much surface area to hit. The benefit of hindsight, I should have just painted some Terminators on stream. Or more possessed or something. I just noticed I've neglected chat. Give me one sec. There's an amazing Prussian blue I just picked up that is way more vibrant than the Drakenhof Nightshade. I'm going to try it out later this weekend. What line of paint is that from, Margaret? I'm familiar with AK's Prussian blue, but that's more of a standard kind of paint, like a layer paint, not a wash. The UK terrain guy with the huge hoop earrings. Yes, Luke APS. I'm pretty sure it's his video I followed for the homemade washes that I use currently. Though it's possible my recipe or my execution of his recipe is not perfect. Have I built or painted a defiler yet? No, I have not. The defiler was not an acquisition I have made. It's not a bad model. I kind of like how charming it is. Those older sculpts. And while I'm not like the biggest fan of like never mind. Never mind. Yes, Luke APS. That is the content creator who has the big hoop earrings. He has really good tutorials. I like his videos a lot. I wonder if there's a room for some wow factor with the Defiler being such an old model that doesn't, like, let's be real, like, it's not the best looking thing just due to time. Like, it's been a bit aged from a modeling point of view compared to the current range of models. But similar to the Eldar Wave Serpent, I wonder if there's just room to wow people with a really nice paint job that's just like, whoa, that's a Defiler? That's the old Defiler, you know? Because I'm having trouble recalling exactly the Defiler, but it's got a lot of flat panels, right? So maybe there's room there for any hobby enthusiasts. Take a crack at it. So when I was looking up Eldar reference, when I was painting my own Wave Serpent, there are loads of just awesome Wave Serpent, Falcon, Fire Prism paint jobs. Like, it's and when you build the kit, it is, like, you can tell how old it is. But it's definitely a model that a good paint job can really kind of help shine. And I think maybe the same could apply for the Defiler. Though personally, I guess I wasn't drawn to the Defiler because it feels, at least from memory, it feels more mechanical than demonic, which I like less for the word bearers. Is that right, Jonathan? Willie Mays passed away. Well, rip. You know, Willie Mays. Defiler, indeed. One reason I liked it, the demon face, the skin that's over the main gun barrel looks exactly like the Fiend when he's mad in Jeepers Creepers. It just looks so unique. Yep, okay, I can see that. Yeah, there is a demonic element there. I forgot about that. Alright, cool. What time are we at? We're at 9 p.m. It's not too bad. Alright. Still got quite a bit of wash left, which is nice. Yeah, we can get some F's in chat for Willie Mays. Feels bad. Okay. Now I can finally get back to blackening those tubes with some game color black. And I feel like I'm gonna be here forever. Yeah, probably better start like this. Just a Forge Fiend, Spread Eagle, no big deal. No big deal. We can all be adults about it. What is the best way to hold this guy? Suppose the underbelly doesn't matter all that much. Right, like you're probably not going to see it. Not from a straight on angle like this. I'm trying to stay in the lines here, but definitely not doing a perfect job. Though I wonder how much it matters on a detail like this. Like on trim, it becomes very obvious when your armor color is overlapping with your trim color, but on these tubes, I don't know. Probably not the biggest deal. Maybe it'll be one of those things that'll be hard to evaluate until the whole model is further along. Oops. Hey, nice info sharing there, Jonathan. I need to find my glazing medium. Here it is. For these areas, I'm thinking just fill them in. Oh, crap. Disaster. And there's another area near his butt. And oh boy, all these cables too, eh? Wonder if I can kind of just paint them in like an impressionist kind of way, who's kind of suggest I've painted them. And then maybe your eye will do the trick. I had no idea that was the case with Willie Mays. I only knew him as a informational figure. But still, yeah, no, it's that sucks. Regardless, it's always a shame when someone passes on, right? Alright, got tubes on the plasma. What other areas need to get blacked? It's not a good verb to use. Phrasing, am I right? Oh, you got some tubes here as well. Okay. I can't help but acknowledge my own phrasing, Miku. It is my special talent. Yeah, this song is a good vibe. These areas could probably do with multiple coats, but again, it's one of these situations where can I get away with it? When it's all said and done, is the effort of a second coat actually going to make a substantive difference? I don't know. Maybe don't bother with a second coat. Maybe if you need another layer, maybe just come in with a... Like, if you need another layer for coverage, that is, maybe it's... You get more from that effort to just layer in a brighter gray. You know, just slightly, like an off black. Okay, well that's, jeez. Yeah, vehicles and monsters take time. Go figure, right? Not the most progress, but... Guess I know what I'll be doing this week. What time are we at? 9:30? I'd go for another 15 or so minutes. Oh, that is an excellent question, Margaret. The painters that inspire me the most? Probably these god tier people on Instagram. Like the stuff you're just like, you look at, you look here like, whoa. Offhand, crap, you know, I wish I could pull it up. You know what? I can use my internet browser to log into Instagram because I want to reference them by name, but my phone is being used as my capture device here, so I can't use that to quickly check my Instagram. Yeah, Elaministura. I can't. I'm like probably butchering that pronunciation. Go to following. Why? You'd think that it'd be sorted by people with the most followers, because these guys are hyper popular epic painters. Jamie Paints has really nice Tyranids. Love his work. Jeez, where are these guys? I don't know. This is not... I'm very disappointed with the Instagram user interfacing. It's real bad. Pax Acrylica has amazing green stuff work. Amazing. Very inspiring stuff for those who like working with green stuff or sculpting. Liam Paint Stuff has great salamanders. I feel like I'm just referencing popular people. I don't know. Hindarion's Eldar, his Biltan is also really nice. Yeah, I wish I could filter this by users with more followers, because then I feel like they'd all be at the top. Fletcher's painting, you know, from Tabletop Tactics. Awesome, awesome paint jobs. Katarzyna Gorska has like insane freehand and blending. Her work, I presume. I don't know. Yeah, just tremendous stuff. Just tremendous. It's like one of the few people I've seen freehand a base. That's just like better than my whole army, you know? Crazy. Crazy good stuff. Whoops. Though this little task here is probably like a fun exercise. Not fun. Subjectively fun. Exercise for brush control. Like, can you quickly, you know, just block in these shapes in such a way that you're cleaning up without ruining the metal cutouts. Oh, just ruined that one. That's okay. What's that saying I love from, not that saying, the quote from Lord of the Rings? No journey is without peril. It applies to model painting as well. Sometimes you're gonna wreck yo shit. Oh boy. I'm more particular about the upwards facing details, because that's what you're gonna see most of the time. I feel like if it's, you know, you're gonna be picky about the paint job, it really should be the details that are gonna be player facing or viewer facing. Yes, Margaret. That is... You were thinking of the right person. Xena? Is that how you say it? I don't know. It's the username is Kaha.KatarZina Gorska. Very nice stuff. I would recommend a follow if you enjoy following painters on Instagram. Jeez. Butterfingers over here, my god. I don't know, Miku. Maybe it's one of these situations where you'll be right as you're trying to fall asleep, you'll remember all the painters that inspire you. I feel like that's how my brain works most of the time. Definitely missed some spots over here. For stripping models, I used to use Simple Green and Super Clean. I found those to be the most successful and like far cheaper than buying alcohol, like rubbing alcohol at a high purity. Forgot about that too. Oh well. Oh well. There will be trim to do later, so not the biggest loss. Okay, I'm gonna start putting a little bit of I know I said I'd wrap up soon, but time flies when you're having fun, I suppose. I want to put a little bit of base color down for the demonic flesh. I'm going with a Death Guard green. There'll be some blending afterwards, not today, maybe tomorrow. But I want to put a bit of color down, just because I'd like to make the before and after a little bit more impactful if I can help it. Maybe just one side, and I'll take the photo from that side. Then nobody will know but me. And the 8 of you in chat. Yeah, I decided a while ago I would make the Forge Fiend's Nurgle. And it so happens to be the way you want to run them in the Dark Zealots detachment, or whatever they're called. But... oh crap, I missed a servo or a hinge here too. But I'm not really keen to play that detachment anyways. Just a funny coincidence that the Mark of Nurgle is now like the one you want for shooting. And it is going on fairly thin for a base paint, but that's because I mixed in some glazing medium. And it's not the worst thing, considering I do want to do some blends anyways. Camera angle like this. That's a bit better. Can't really show it on the stream here. the arm I'm using is just way too close. Those are all the areas of demonic flesh, eh? Because the middles down here in the middle are all tubes. Same with the neck. Interesting. Alright, we'll just go. We'll go for another 10 minutes. you've written up 21 stratagems for 21 stratagems written up. More Imperial Fist done. Blood Angels, Iron Hands. Oh, this is for 8th edition. I don't know. It definitely feels like there was an excess of stratagems in 8th and 9th edition. It's like crazy. Crazy to me. I much prefer the current amount, personally speaking. Well, I might have thinned out this this a bit too much. Yeah, that's quite thin. Oh yes, Miku, that is true. There is more core stratagems in 10th and 9th, but I haven't done a count up, but I would imagine the number of stratagems at one's disposal is still lower. Well, it's not sparking joy yet. I guess much of that is relying on the trim. And the glow effects, obviously. But I think the foundations are more or less in place. Oh, thanks, Music Sean Daly. I appreciate that. I agree 100% with Margaret on that 3.5 Chaos Space Marines Codex. It was often, in my gaming group, pointed to as the GOAT of the Chaos Space Marines Codexes, and upon examination, yes. It's like the hobby at its purest, you know? Oh, you're an Iron Warriors player, you can take a Basilisk, and then it's encouraged for you to hobby and convert and make it yours. And I wish there was more of that in the hobby. Things like orcs just being able to loot whatever they wanted, and use those weapons as they come with their ballistic skill. That sparks much joy for me. Alright, what did I say? I was wrapping up soon, right? That was the claim. I swear this time it's true. I'm thinking, and again, I'm going to do the blends on the skin tomorrow. I'm thinking of like a purplish. I really like how GW paints their Great Unclean One, so maybe I'll take a look at that. You got this off-white, greenish kind of gross skin, and then it kind of becomes purpley. Actually, maybe I should look at how they paint their orc skin, because I really like that as well. Like where the muscles connect to joints becomes a bit more purple or more pink. Maybe I'll take a cue from that kind of color scheme, just to add some variance to those organic details. Anyways, I think now's a good time to wrap her up. I would do a normal showcase, but I can't get this guy on frame properly. This is it. There it is. The best I can do. My camera position is just so poor. Thanks to everyone who... Oh shit! I just saw your message, Margaret. Almost forgot the Ackle episode 4 to start. Yep. That is a... That's a show I'm eager to see how it pans out as well. Thanks to everyone who tuned into the stream, everyone who commented and liked. The activity and company is much appreciated with regards to spreading that hobby camaraderie and fueling all of our motivations. Probably we'll be continuing the Forge Friends arc tomorrow. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one.